Hello and good evening, everybody. I believe I'm live. I hope so. Uh, Give me a 5 by 5 if you see me in here, guys. Um, anyway, I think I'm live. A little 5 by 5 from the crowd would be handy. Wow, guys, it's been wow. Wow isn't a big enough word. I literally, those of you who have seen, gosh, Green Acres, that's what I dealt with today. You remember the old Green Acres farmhouse? Kind of resembles where I live, believe it or not. Pretty rustic where I live. And it's all day we've been dealing with internet. And I'm sorry I'm late. I am a few minutes late, and I apologize for that. I felt like I was climbing, whatever. Eddie Arnold used to climb up the telephone pole to make a phone call. You younger people probably don't remember that, but anyway, you probably see it on reruns or whatever. But anyway, Green Acres is what I've been dealing with all day. I really have to say, there's nothing more frustrating than when your internet's out and you need your internet to connect your solar system, and your solar system is giving you problems. And when that happens and you're trying to connect it through the internet and your internet signal isn't strong enough for them to download the new software to it, and you're pulling your hair out all day going, wait a minute. It's got to be more easy than this. It cannot be this complicated. I mean, I can send $1 billion from my phone to another phone in Bangladesh, but I can't get something downloaded here. Is sometimes so frustrating to me and as crypto people that we can't comprehend, like, why are we in the Stone Ages and so much technology, and yet here we have this brilliant technology that can change the banking of all mankind, and yet they treat us like stepchildren. Like it's amazing to me how they've gotten away with this, how they've brainwashed society into believing that crypto is the problem, or it's bad, or it's wrong in some way, and yet its technology is going to make everyone's life transactionally more simple. It's crazy to me. It's a level of just flat out manipulation. I was going to call it corruption, but whatever you want to call it, if it walks like a duck. Tonight I've got a bunch of show notes here. Probably won't go through any of them because I'm all worked up about everything else that's going on in the world since I wrote this show 2 weeks ago. We'll try and keep it more current and relevant. Current events here tonight. I have a wonderful network of people, and those of you in this chat know exactly who you are. Joanna, and I mean, there's too many to name, honestly, that reach out to me, that send me emails, that send me posts that other people have posted. And people say the kindest things about me, and only about half of them are accurate. But people say the nicest things about a few of the people in the crypto space. And I really want to start off this New Year's with this one thought process, and I hope it carries over for the entire year. There are people in this space that are exceptional. They're exceptional. I'm not talking about myself here at all, not at all. There are people that work day and night to get you the most updated current news and events and figuring out what's going on and turning over every stone. And in some of those channels, they strive so hard to get the next story, to get the new angle, to get the new whatever it is, tidbit, to be the first guy to the market, and to get the new sensationalized be very careful with some of this information. Much of it has to be vetted over time. You can't just, I'm going to make an assumption, boom, I'm going live with it. And I'm just going to say that this person and those people are all corrupt and this is why, and this is the connection. And I've gone through so much of that since getting into the YouTube crypto space. We must understand that we have, and I say we as in everybody here, we have a responsibility to, I'm going to use the word honesty, but I'm going to use it in a different way. A responsibility of doing your best to find out what works for you and everybody you communicate with socially. This is a big thing, guys. Right now, we're at this point where it's like everybody's trying to find the truth. What is the truth? What is the correct thing? What is the perfect path? I'm here to say that there is no perfect path. I think the perfect path is going to be explained to you after you pass on, and that's going to be the perfect place. Till then, we're here to live, learn, and celebrate and be happy and appreciate each other. And that's what we're doing here. We're not here to figure out everybody's needs. You and I have separate needs. You and I have different desires, and we would like to see different outcomes for our loved ones. Doesn't make your outcome or your desire for your outcome to be correct or incorrect. It's yours. You own it. You deserve it, and it's yours, and it's perfect in your way. And this is really something that comes to me a lot. There's so many great sensational stories and opinion pieces that people do. And somebody hit me with one over the weekend, and it was presented in such a professional manner and intelligent way. And this presentation was so smooth, and with all the ins and outs and the outtakes and the B-roll and the rest of it. And it's so convincing that at the end of it, you just say, well, I'm just going to go ahead and believe what that said. And basically it said crypto's a mess. Crypto's not a mess. These are people that got crypto trade wrong. These are the people that didn't get into crypto, still haven't gotten into crypto because they missed the train. They missed the trade. They missed the train. They're not in the boat with us, and they're still trying to find holes in the boat. And they go to great lengths to tell you that that's going to implode on you one day and you're just going to be penniless because of it. Ditch those friends. I'm not trying to say that you should listen to everybody who says that you should buy crypto. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there are people who are going to regret this next year or 3 years of their life in a level that I think it's revolutionary. I really believe. I'm going to talk about this later on tonight. I have a story from an inside banking connection, a guy that I talk to quite often, not my regular guy, but another guy. And he and I went into it last night, actually. I was on the phone quite a while with him. When you learn how man works, the psychology of us all, you understand your neighbor better. The more you understand him, the more you understand yourself. And I'm not trying to get too philosophical here. What I'm trying to say is what's good for your neighbor doesn't have to be good for your neighbor in your eyes. Be okay with the fact that you have friends that simply don't get crypto, won't get crypto, don't understand XRP, don't understand Bitcoin. They don't understand why there's somebody would invest trillions of dollars into that market and that you're an idiot for doing so. Okay? Now, having said that, there are people who are promoting, I don't want to get too deep into who. There's a whole bunch of them, and I think I'm the only one that actually thinks anything positive about a group called Tether. That's right, I said Tether. See, if you listen to, in particular, the XRP army tell you about who Tether is, they won't say anything positive. They'll bring up all the negative things, and they'll bring up every negative thing that they've ever learned about it. No, it's never been accounted, and it's never this, and it's all that, and it's corrupt, and it's bad, and they don't have the dollars or money that they say they do, and it's never been accounted for, and they're going down, and everybody's taking them down. This is the narrative flying around right now. I caution everybody to be extremely, extremely cautious while taking that position. Because let's see if I can explain this. This is going to take me a few minutes, but I'm going to be as honest as I can possibly be. See, people invent things. That's what people do. They see a need and they invent it. Those are called entrepreneurs. Those people are creatives. They see where man needs this thing. In the sense of Tether, they came along with a little thing called stablecoin. Brilliant in design, brilliant concept, absolutely a moneymaker. And really, hey, it came along at such a perfect time that it didn't just promote Bitcoin. A lot of people say, oh, it just made Bitcoin go up. No, that's not even remotely accurate, but that's what everybody will tell you because they don't like Tether. Okay, I'm all right with that. You don't have to like what I like. You don't have to like Tether. Stop saying things about Tether that are absolutely, I'm not going to say false, because everything in the world is kind of a gray area, really, isn't it? What I am going to say is this. These people came along and created something that was brilliant for its day, was necessary, still today has a massive market share. And there's people now throwing them under the bus. I want you to be careful about throwing Tether under the bus. Not because, oh, it's going to threaten you or ruin your bag or any of that stuff. Not that. I say that because when you understand decentralization, as I do, you praise numerous companies for their ingenuity and their design. You don't have to agree with them all. You don't have to like, whatever, meme coins or NFTs or all the rest of it. You don't have to like any of that stuff. You don't have to like Tether. My point is this. When you want a truly decentralized market, you don't look to your government to say, hey, which ones do you like? No, that's not decentralization. That's centralization. So Micah, Mika, whoever, have you seen the things that they've disagreed with over the last few years? That's the definition of centralized government. You don't want to be on that team. You don't want to be solely on that team. And you don't simply want to wear a hat that says, oh, these government people who are not entrepreneurs, who are not visionaries, who don't have a creative bone in their body, instead, they don't want to be capitalists. They want to be socialists, and they want to tell you that you can't use this. Is that the world you want to live in? I don't think that's why you got into crypto. Be careful, okay? Those people are the same people. Gee, Wasn't it Coinbase that, oh, I don't know, 2, 3 years ago now said, hey, you can't buy XRP on our exchange? You remember that? And now you're throwing that into my face, writing me emails pages long about how wrong I am, about Tether is the worst thing that was ever created. And Allan, how can you support these people? And these people are wrong. And Micah says that they're bad and they're outlawed in Europe. Don't you understand anything about crypto, Allan? Remember, those people are bureaucrats, not entrepreneurs. Don't believe in free market. In fact, I'm going to say that Europe is probably the least likely place for this man, not have to be your decision, that's this man's idea, is the last place I would take advice from. That's right, I said it. Europe, if Europe says it's going to snow tomorrow, I'm betting on a sunny day. Oh, I don't know. Maybe you could look at what they did in Germany with their nuclear plants. Or maybe you could look into the fact that the euro's down, I don't know, 71% in the last 5 years. Or, gee, they went all green and everybody had to burn their furniture to stay warm. Oh, and maybe, I don't know, what is it? France, the Netherlands, Germany, Spain, Italy, all of the farmers are spraying their fertilizer all over their parliaments, and then finding where the politicians live and spraying manure all over their doors. And you want to listen to those people tell you what's good in crypto? Really? Huh. Why? Because maybe your RLUSD is going to go up? What? Oh, that coin bad. Our team wins and that team's bad, so we got to throw them under the bus? And you're listening to people like European, who's, by the way, it's been decades since they've done anything correctly. This man's opinion, just my opinion. They don't get anything right. Look around. I'm just throwing that out there because I got a lot of emails, boy. Whew, you people are wound up about this whole Tether's the devil himself. Oh my God. I'm going to explain some simple math to you guys about Tether. Okay. Maybe you haven't even looked this up. You just listen to some YouTube channel, throw it under the bus. And I know who they are. And they're good friends of mine. I like them. Great people. They have fantastic shows. And maybe they don't know these things about banking. But see, Mika, whoever, wants them to hold 60% of the value of Tether in dollars. Sorry, euros. Cash, baby. That's right, cash. Do you know what a bad idea that is? Let me ask you this. Do you own 60% of your net worth in cash? No, you don't, do you? Why don't you do that? You don't do that because it's melting like an ice cube in a warm day in your hand. And yet they want Tether to hold 60% of their net value in cash. Huh. Why would they want that? Maybe because, oh, I don't know, because the euro's down 71% in the last 5 years and they want somebody to buy it and somebody to own it. And Tether was smart enough to look back and go, I don't want that cash. It's trash. Why would I do that when I could buy, oh, I don't know, US treasuries that are paying me 5%? Or I don't know, I could buy Bitcoin, which is what they did. See, they don't want to live under tyranny. That's why they said, I'm not complying to that. No, that's not why we created a stable coin. We created a stable coin to follow a dollar in a fluctuating market. I want you guys to think long and hard about what I'm talking about here, because this is coming to a doorstep near you. I'm talking about big banking now. I'm not talking about crypto. I'm not a crypto only channel. I'm the man who gives you the banking side of things from 40,000 feet and how these people manipulate or corrupt financial systems through banking regulations. Well, we're the good stable coin. We meet all the regulation standards. Yeah. No. See, I want the company or the people or the CEO that's fighting for the people. Like CZ did. Did CZ do anything? CZ didn't do anything that Mr. Diamond doesn't do annually. That's right. Annually. Oh, but he just gets away with a little bitty fine. CZ had to pay a massive fine and go to jail. I like CZ. As soon as I heard that, I liked him. I liked him even more after I heard his interview. After all the things they said about him, threw him under the bus, wouldn't let him run his company. That man created more opportunity for more poor people on the face of this planet than those politicians ever dreamed of. You know why? Because they're non-intelligent people. They're bureaucrats. And they own everything by manipulating all things. Be careful, my friends. We're in the most important time in all man's history when it comes to crypto. I don't say these words lightly. This is an important time because blockchain has that stamp that just says, boom, that chain is sealed and whatever's in it is legend. That's history. We are creating history right now. And you tell me that you believe that politicians are doing the right thing for you and I with crypto. Oh, be very careful with that one, my friends. Be very careful. Because see, when have they ever done the right thing for you and I? Oh, I don't know. Wasn't that long ago that Mr. Scam Bankman-Fried, right? Wasn't he supported? Didn't he? Oh, I don't know. Our current president wasn't he a massive campaign donor for him? How come he never got investigated? How come he never had to get regulated? How come he was the guy that was waving his hand at the very? I believe we should go to regulation. Then we found out who he was, didn't we? And then they tried to sell you and I that this man masterminded him and his girlfriend, who was supposedly the CFO, chief financial officer of a company, and she couldn't tell many news broadcasts that I listened to how they exit trades. Yet all of the money that companies started from and originated from was trading arbitrage trades. Yet she had no concept of how they got out of those trades. It's tricky getting out of arbitrage trades. It's not just 2 clicks like, your little Robin Hood. It's way different, kids. It takes about 4 steps. And you better be quick because profits go fast in a global banking network. So now all of a sudden, we're supposed to believe that those two who can't spell IQ, all right, masterminded this whole entire thing, and then they threw FTX under the bus. Tom Brady and the whole bunch of them. And we're supposed to believe that those two masterminded it. Yeah, right. Yeah, I got some land to sell you. Also, just stop and now let's go back just a little bit in this conversation and ask ourselves, what advantage did they have over CZ. Well, CZ got blamed for crashing FTX. They were trying to bait him in the whole way. That's why they went after him. And then when they went after and collapsing FTX, who pulled the plug on FTX? Wasn't those two boneheads? That's right. You know who did. Why? Because they could. Because they could pull the plunge, and they did. And it crushed our last bull market. Do you people remember that? It gave them leverage over our crypto market in a massive way. And now I'm going to get back to a little bit of history that maybe a few of you may or may not have remembered. There's a little bank called Signature Bank, and there was a bank called Silicon Valley Bank. Both of those banks were solvent. They were 5 times more solvent than B of A. Yeah, but what did everybody on the top level of banking, politicians, know about those two banks in particular, Signature? What did they know about those banks? They were cash rich. Bingo. You see where we went there? Now, do you know why Micah wants you to hold 60% of your money in cash? Because what happened to, I don't know, Mr. Signature Bank, Silicon Valley Bank? What happened? Oh, that's right. Everybody pulled their $50 billion of cash out of the market in 24 hours. Did you pull your money out? No. Did you get a chance to pull your money out? No. See, you didn't get a chance to do that, did you? Only the people in the know. You know, those people in Micah meetings. You know, those guys will know when we're going to pull the plug on Tether. That's why they wanted Tether to have 60% of all their assets in cash. Because they was waiting, because he ain't in their club. And they're just waiting for the day where they could just bounce about $50 billion worth of cash out from underneath his $138 billion, and it would crash overnight. And all the little people in crypto would blame him, and then they would blame everybody except the people pulling the cash who made the regulation and knew the vulnerability of the situation of owning that much cash. So when you want to write me an email about, I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to crypto, understand I've been in this game a while. But the bigger game that I know fairly well, I'm no expert, just a boat captain, is the way the big money plays the game. I worked for 3 of the largest bankers in the history of the world. Yeah, look it up. Don't kid yourself, okay? And be careful. Be careful which team you're playing with, okay? I'm just saying. Now, enough of my Tether rant tonight. I could go deeper, trust me. I didn't even get started into how I feel about the people who are trying to crush it. Maybe that'll be next week's show. I will tell you, they're losing. The people that I spoke of that are trying to manipulate markets, on the last 20 days out the door, they're losing. And they're losing on a global basis. That was the hour-and-a-half conversation I had with the gentleman last night. So let's just segue into that, shall we? He asked me, he said, Alan, where do you think all this crypto thing is going? And you know, when you're dealing with somebody on the phone that's about twice as smart as you are, it's a good idea. I've always found it to be a good idea to sit down and shut up and listen. But in this case, I sort of stepped in it, and I said, "Well, honestly, I think all this new regime coming in and all that's going to be really good for it, and I hope that we can get some clarity, and I hope some of that really comes to be. And I just really, more than anything else, I really want network effect. I want the exposure of all mankind to see really the value of crypto instead of just it automatically being a narrative or a hot button for everybody." And as he likes to do, Bone went quiet. And that's when I went, doggone it, I stepped right in it, didn't I? Because he knew the answer to the question. That's when you know you're dealing with somebody smart. As soon as I came out with the answer, I went, oh, he set me up on that one. Doggone it. All right, now I'm going to get it. To my amazement, he said, well, you're accurate on a lot of it. He said, but you know what puzzles me, Allan? What puzzles me is why they hate it at the top. When he talks about the top, he's talking about like the office next to his. What puzzles me about why they hate crypto so much. See, he understands crypto better than he used to. He says, I understand why they really like Bitcoin. I get that. And I understand the network. I get that. And I actually love the fact that we can move crypto around on, as you like to say, Allan, the bridge of XRP around the world. I love that. I appreciate that. What bothers me, Allan, is how in the world are these folks ever going to do business going forward? And I went, uh-oh. He set me up again, isn't he? He just set me up again. And he wants me to reply to that. And I said, well, yeah, I kind of understand what you mean. Why don't you explain it? That was a good comeback, by the way. He said, well, the whole system works on grease. And I went, yeah. He says, how you gonna grease the wheel with crypto? And I thought, yeah, I know what you mean. And he said, you got to create more digits every single year. Well, how are you going to do that with Bitcoin? Can't. How are you going to do that with XRP? Nope. How are you going to make that happen, Allan? And that's when I got real smart. And I said, stable coins. And he said, bingo. They don't want your crypto market. They want your stable coins. See, you and I know that people, like the first story earlier tonight, people that want cash. I hear smart people tell me all the time, oh, you should buy everything in cash. They can't trace it. Cash. You know what the problem with cash is? They don't have to print them anymore. They don't even have to make that cash bill. They got those credit card digits. And so let's see, they can stop making cash, right? Or they can make so much of it, it'll just flood the whole, flood the whole market, like back in the 30s. Why more? Right? So what good is cash or what good are digits They're not. They're really worthless, aren't they? You and I know that. Because let me ask you this. He and I know this on a banking level, and most of you know this already, but I'm going to put it to you in a way that maybe you haven't heard it before. See, the digits that you think you own are on your phone that's in your bank account, those aren't real digits, are they? Those are just digits on a phone. And the digits at the bank that you say that they're in, those aren't even real digits either, really, are they? No, they're not. Well, how do I know those aren't real digits? Well, because when you go to the bank and you say, well, look, I have 100,000 of these digits in the bank. Can I have them? No. Why? Well, we don't have them, let alone the cash. Oh, we don't have those. You have to give us a couple of weeks because why? They don't exist. So, I'm playing doorman here tonight again. Those digits don't exist. They get created when you need them. I want you to really think hard about that, because that's exactly how your bank works. You go and you ask for digits, boom, they get created. The bank makes them right then and there. I know you don't want to hear that, but that's the absolute truth. So he and I understand that. So it's like, okay, well, if you've only got 21 million Bitcoin and you've only got 100 billion XRP, how are they going to make money, Allan? Because they have to make money out of thin air. And I sat back and I was like, I'd never heard a man put it to me quite the way he did. He goes, it's not that they don't like your coins, Allan. It's that the Ponzi stops. And what good is that? They're scared to death, Allan. I'm in those meetings with them, Allan, and the fear, you can cut it with a knife. See, when you can't create more digits, music stops. Most of you don't know that. You and I understand liquidity of XRP. Yeah, unlimited liquidity. Oh, it sounds good. It's not accurate. There's nothing accurate about that. Oh, the trade will always go through no matter what. It's instant liquidity. It's not how the system works. People say to me, oh, well, you understand that derivatives market's just going to blow up one day. And I say, oh, wow, okay, I got a derivatives expert here. Okay, well, explain to me how the derivatives market could possibly blow up. I'm waiting. How would that happen? Well, see, one day somebody can't pay somebody else. You think they're getting paid? You think it's Mr. Smith's checking account? No, that isn't how this works. It's the spread. It's the kickback. It's the commission. It's the interest. Nobody's paying principal. Nobody's paid principal in decades. Do you understand the game in which we're playing here is so vast and so unreal and so impossible for you to wrap your head around that you don't get the term grease. See, grease is important to this big wheel. And when you and I decide to limit the amount of tokens, and in XRP's case, burn tokens, Oh, I got a good idea. After every transaction, let's burn some tokens. No, that was a bad idea. That was a really bad idea. But make number go up, make me rich. I get that. I got that. Don't get me wrong. Rich with what? Where are you going to get the liquidity to be rich? I'm waiting here. So that liquidity has to come from somewhere, right? Is it your friend's wallet? Guy down the street? Has to be a market. It has to be a market for someone to purchase that, to desire it. Where are they getting the money from? Remember, the system, when you get into hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars, does not run on Mr. Smith's wallet. It has to be printed from somewhere or created from somewhere, pixie dust, for that massive amount of payment to be paid. We just went over earlier that when you go down to borrow $10,000 from your bank, it's not in there. And yet you think that your coin's going to go to $1 million and you're just going to, we're going to have 1 million people withdraw $1 million of it. Where's the liquidity? Put your thinking caps on here now, kids. We're thinking really hard here tonight. Where's the liquidity going to come from? And I know I'm the first guy to tell everybody here. The amount of digits of US dollar or duplication, representation of US dollar digit that there is on this planet is in the quadrillions. I'm aware of that. Who's going to sell their derivative to buy your XRP? They're not going to do that. What are they going to do? They're going to create more digit to buy your XRP. Who gets to create money? Therefore, who gets to own all the XRP? See, these big bankers are only afraid today. They know the game. It's a long game. You and I, we have a short game. You and I got a putter in our hand. Those guys are hitting 4 golf courses. Terrible analogy, but you know what I mean. They're playing long ball while you're sitting around wondering, well, when do I get mine? When does it go to $10? When do I get out? Please think long and hard about the laws and rules that are coming forth and who controls them and why they control them and the reasons for it. I'm not trying to tell you, okay, that there's a massive conspiracy that, the whole banking system's against us. No, that is not what I'm saying here tonight at all. What I am saying is you and I, okay, are going to do pretty damn good, really good. To satisfy all the people in my chat and everybody in the XRP army and everybody that owns XRP making $10 million in the next year is not an issue. Not a problem at all. It's 5-10 years from now when XRP is $1,000 a coin and institutions own them all, particularly Bitcoin. That's the thing that scares me the most, Bitcoin. It's a big picture out there. And a lot of people just, they follow the news and they're, the media said this and I got to react to it. There's a big game being played right now. And those laws and those rules are coming to you and I. And they're written and presented by people with their self-interest in mind. Now, I'm not saying Mr. Trump and I'm not saying Elon. I kind of like that team. In fact, I like that team a lot. That team makes more sense than any team I've heard of, maybe in my lifetime. I've never known a president to grab an entrepreneur or 4 or 5 or 10 of them in the room and say, hey, let's do this. That's brilliant. Do you understand how incredible that I don't care if you like the man or not. That tells me day one, he wants to get it right for the people. And I know everybody that hates him, oh no, he's just trying to get rich, Allan. Only poor people think like that. I don't know a single billionaire that says, oh, I want to get richer tomorrow. That's not how they think. And trust me, you don't know anybody that's met more billionaires than I have. You don't know anybody that's worked for dozens of billionaires. I know how they think. And it's frustrating to me to hear the little man talk about it. Oh, they're manipulating everything so that they can get richer. No, see, you don't hire the smartest people in the world and the entrepreneurs if you're trying to screw over little guy. No, that's not how you do it. How you do it is you hire all your bureaucratic friends and all the people that don't know how to create anything and who have never really had a job or never even created a business. And you create all those cronies, and that's how you screw over the little guy. They perfected it. Again, I'm going to use this, and I say this all the time. It's so important. How do you possibly take the most financially well-off nation in the history of this planet and make it the most indebted country in the history of this planet? And look yourself in the eye and say, we did a great job, didn't we? In fact, I'm going to hire all the guys that got us there. No, that's not what this man's about to do. He's about to hire the people that actually created a company, who actually know what it's like to deal with employees and who actually understand the employees. Do you know that Biden has never had an employee? You know that he actually had to pay out of his own wallet? How do you get to be 80 some odd years old and that never happened to you? It's tragic. Those are not the people that you want running a popsicle stand. How did I get off on that? I'm so excited about where we're at right now and what we're doing. Let me backtrack on Mr. Banker and I's conversation. And now I'm going to tell you the good part. The good part is this. The adoption's here. I said, look, they can't push this off any longer. I already know about ISO. That's coming. You guys already know about that. He won't say yes or no on any of that. He doesn't tell me anything. I have to pry it out of him with a bar. It's coming, guys. I could hear it in his voice. I've said this before. I've never, ever heard this man ever with the fear in his voice about change. See, they've had it steady for so long, too big to fail. All of their cronies, we don't do anything and we get paid stupid money. We got the best job in the world. And that light is coming in on all those roaches. Yeah, that's right. I just call them a roach. And that light's coming in on them and they can see it and they can feel it and it's getting hot. And I could hear it in his voice. Hey, he's almost retired. He's going to be set. He's not worried about it. But I heard him slip about a month ago, and he said, they're going to lay off about 40% of the people that work for this company. I'm not going to tell you the name of the company. And I said, well, you understand that they're not necessary, right? Because Allan, these people don't know anything else. This is the only way they've done anything. I said, but it doesn't make it right. Does it? Haven't they been stealing from the poor? At what point do we say, maybe the poor should get something out of the deal? At what point do we do that? Not that the poor would ever do anything right with it. And I know what I just said. It's true. You can divvy the money up, and then within 10 years, it'll all be back in similar hands. Why? Because you and I care about people. You and I are going to spend our last dollar helping our best friend. That's who we are. Thank God for that. I love that about you people. That's not a weakness in my eyes. That's a beautiful thing. There's more important things in life than money. In fact, money's way down the line, actually. Money's number 5 or 10 for me, to be honest. There's a lot going on, guys. A lot. And all of it is good. You know, when I hear him say to me, Allan, when crypto really gets rolling, the money that it's going to make. See, he's in the financial networks. And I know you think financial networks make a lot of money. They don't. They really don't. They make pennies off of dollars, but they trade a lot of dollars, obviously. Crypto's going to make a lot of money, Allan. And my favorite conversation that I have with him, we had it about a month ago. I must have been 2 months ago now. I think I shared it with many of you. Was the new voters, I shared this with him. I know I've shared it with you for years now. The new voters are the people in this chat. And they're about to be wealthy. There's hundreds of millions of people around the world who own crypto, who are about to have way more money than they've ever had before. See, this network effect is coming. That's the one thing he would admit to. Oh, yeah, I've never seen an opportunity like this ever. Ever. Ever's a long time for a 70-year-old man. This is about to happen in a manner, in a way that is going to blow people's minds. It's hard sometimes to really, you've been in the game so long that it's hard for you to understand where we're at and what we're doing here and why we're here. How did I get here? How did you and I get this so right? You ever have those days? I have those days all the time. I ask man, how did you pull that off, Ace? You just fell right out of bed right into this, didn't you? No, that's not what happened, did it? You studied your tail off and you worked your butt off. And you know what you did? You know what you did more than anything else? You didn't play it safe. I've known this my whole life because of the people I work with. The people that play it safe are losers. I know. It sounds terrible. You would think that, I got to play it safe and I got this $100,000 a year job and that's just what I'm going to do, honey. And I got benefits and if we save, we can buy a house. And no, that's not living. That's a rat on a wheel. That's who that is. They never get that nest egg. You know, my favorite banking buddy that told me a long time ago, Allan, the difference between you, and of course, this is 25 years ago, he told me this on the aft deck of a beautiful boat. And he told me this, and I'll never forget it. Allan, the difference between me and you is $10,000. I was like, Dan, I don't get it. What do you mean? He said, because that $10,000 put in the right place, the opportunity that comes along, you don't got. I got it. When I got the 10, it turned into 20. And that 20 turned into 100. And then the 100 became $1 million. And that's what I mean by what I was just saying a moment ago. I've heard the bags you people have. You've saved all your money. You've put a lot of money in crypto. And when it starts 10xing and 20xing, and you're going to be sitting there and you're going to be blown away. That opportunity came your way. You were the guy who didn't play it safe, who didn't just put it in a bank account, because why don't we put money in a bank account? And this chat would blow up if I asked that stupid question, because it's an ice cube on a sunny day. You're risk takers. That's who you are. Sure, you swing and miss a lot. You probably have your whole life. We didn't miss this one. You crushed this trade, particularly if you have XRP or Bitcoin years ago. You crushed this trade. And why? Because you weren't play it safe guy. Oh, honey, let's buy the kid new shoes next week. No, you were constantly pulling money aside, and you ended up with that 10K. And that 10K turned at 50 already if you had XRP back at 50 cents. Before that, 20 cents, sorry. That's like, people that play it safe, they get the corporate job, they got the corporate office, they do the thing, they make 100 to 200 grand a year, and everybody thinks they're some great person and whatnot. They've never taken a risk in their whole life. And when they get 85 years old, you know what they do? They look themselves in the mirror at hospice, and the lady at hospice, and they said, do you have any regrets? Yeah. They played it safe. What a bunch of losers. If you don't take risk in life, you don't understand the fruits. You don't understand the reward, the pain that comes from, wow. Do you know how many failed trades I've made? Massive failed trades that had upside that were massive. But did those failed trades ruin my life? No. No, they hardened me. They made me savvy. They made me study a little harder for the next trade. Where are we at now, kids? Huh? We're at that final trade of Allan's days. We're there already. That's not my final trade. I'll be around a while, I hope. So important to understand your failures. The failures that you have received in your lifetime daily, I don't care. Your car broke down at absolutely the worst time. Appreciate it. And that's right, I said it. Appreciate the bad things that happen in your life, in your day. Learn to appreciate those things. Learn to understand them. I use the term bad, and I shouldn't have right there. What I'm talking about is use the things that you used to believe are bad, because who's not using that? That's right, the sheep. The play it safe. I don't want anything ever bad to happen. Oh, honey, we could lose $10,000. Yeah. Yeah, you could lose 10 grand. That's right. And that would be a blessing. I hope you guys are getting that. Because if you can find that in your heart, your soul, okay, that when something you previously perceived as negative or a bad thing happening in your life, to your life, and poor me, and I had this bad day and this bad week. Oh, I feel sorry. If you can find a way to appreciate what you used to think were bad moments in your life, do you know what you're in for? The most incredible life experience that you can ever even imagine. Because why? That's right. You will never have bad days again. Do the math. Pretty simple, guys. Pretty simple. I'm going to end this one with, I got a cool, fun little story that he told me about a politician. He was telling me about a politician he met over the Christmas vacation. I guess they know each other pretty well. I don't know. I'd never heard him speak about this man before. I don't even know who he is, actually. He was telling me who he is. He's a congressman. I wouldn't even tell you what state. But he goes, that guy, you know what his state did? And I said, no, what happened? And he said, they've decided that they're going to buy Bitcoin for their pensioners. And I said, well, was he for it or against it? He said, he was against it. And he was drunk and telling everybody what a bad decision it was. That's the people we have running our country right now. Because why? Well, wait a minute. It's better to hold cash. We already went over what cash is. You might as well light that on fire. But the real inside tip that I got, that I don't know if many of you have heard this one, because I hadn't heard it. Maybe I'm the last guy to know. The beans he spilled to this man that was telling me was what he was most upset about was, this one's big, kids. I was like, whoa, he dropped that bomb? Yep. Social Security is buying Bitcoin. Not maybe. They already decided, and he was against it. Do you know that could save Social Security? To where if you're under, 40, it might actually have more money in it when you retire than it does today. That's the bomb he dropped. I thought I'd leave that one towards the end here, guys. Try and understand how important it is that states, retirement funds, Social Security, maybe, I don't know, maybe, he was pretty lit from what I heard. But why would he make it up? He's against Bitcoin. Nation states, governments, and private institutions, they saw the playbook. They saw the game theory. The game theory was pretty clearly laid out when old Mr. Saylor said, well, I'm just going to borrow. Remember, not having to pay the principal back. I'm going to borrow cheap money and I'm going to buy something real. Whether you believe in Bitcoin or not, doesn't matter. I'm going to buy Bitcoin. The more Bitcoin he buys, the more it stays level or goes up, the more he can borrow. The more he can borrow, the more he can leverage. The more he can leverage, the taller his stack gets. And now he's going to distribute 30x shares of his company over the next 5 years, totaling over $3 trillion. So we know we have a guaranteed buyer of $3 trillion worth of just Bitcoin going forward over the next 5 years. Not to mention the states and the countries and the institutions and the social securities. And when that snowball starts headed that way, you're going to be buying Satoshis, not Bitcoins. In fact, I think it's a lot better investment buying old XRP, but that's just me. I've been wrong before, but if I had only a couple of grand to put into something, I know which one I'd get. But don't lose the plot. If you don't have any or Bitcoin, when I hear massive financial institutions tell you that you should have 2 to 3% of your financial portfolio in Bitcoin, I'm just saying, you might want to get a couple of Satoshis to lay around the house. That's all I'm saying about that. I'm not saying you have to go big, but 2% of your portfolio isn't going to hurt you anything, right? Well, I don't believe in it, and it's a rug pull, and they're going to get rid of it, and, Homeland Security created, and Allan, that's wrong, and I'm not doing it. Okay, no problem. I don't have a problem with that either. But if all the financial institutions, BlackRock and nation states and the rest of them are buying that coin, what's the likelihood of it going down? Not very likely. I'd say on a risk level, it has least amount of risk of any coin out there. Do the math. Why would they want it to go down? They're going to look pretty silly to their investors. Let's also remember, RIAs, those of you who don't even know who they are or what they do, these are your brokers and, the institutionalized traders, if you will. The only sophisticated people can trade through these RIAs, registered investment advisors. These people are smarter than you and I. They've gotten the crypto wrong all this time, but now they're coming into the game. Let's remember what these guys do. They place money and they receive a 1 to as high as 2% commission. So why would they want their client to put the $10 million into something and it go to 5? They don't want that. If they get $100 million, they get $1 million at the end of the year just for that one client. So they want it to go to 2 million, don't they? 200 million. Of course they do. Hey, look, these guys know how to bet on the rabbit because the rabbit always wins the race. Always find the sure bet. Always find the institutional sure bet. This one can't lose. Oh, you might want to put 2% on the can't lose guy. Just putting it out there. I know none of you own crypto or Bitcoin, and I get all that. I probably wouldn't either had I not bought it so long ago. All right, guys. Man, did I rant here tonight, or was I ranting and rolling, or was I actually saying anything that made any sense at all? It's been a long night. Like I say, I was without and without internet all day long, and it was a mess. But I have to say, where we're at in the world of crypto today is a better place than you can even imagine. I never believed we would be where we're at right now. In 2025, where we sit politically, institutionally, globally, is bigger. I thought this was going to happen in the next bull run. I publicly stated that on this channel, I don't know, a dozen times 2 and 3 years ago. I said, well, it won't be this next bull run. That'll be, that'll be the small corporations. And then the next bull run will be institutions and nation states. And I got that one absolutely wrong. They're in now and they're getting in big. And don't fret If you only own XRP, because that's a ace of a coin, and you don't own any Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is going to rise all the tide, all the way around the whole market, as we all know. But please do not wish for another man's failure. Please. Okay? Please do not. Going back to my first part of the show, if you don't like Tether, don't use Tether. But don't make it outlaw or illegal or throw it under the bus and post every post of chat and every video you watch about how corrupt it is and all the rest of it. You just sound like sheep. You sound like you're listening to somebody tell you what real is. That's all I got to say about that. Anyway, do your best to love your brothers and sisters as much as humanly possible. For number one, they need it. Number two, they deserve it. And number three, it makes you feel a lot better about who you are each day. All right, guys, you know how much I love you. So with that, I've got to get out of here. So thank you all. I'm sorry I didn't answer any of the chat. I will get to some of that next week, and we'll do more. I'm trying to get Miss April back on to answer more of your trust questions. Sorry I didn't touch on the trust. I got so wound up about my show ideas tonight. All my trust notes were written down over here. I'm like, that's 2 weeks old. I want to know what's hot today. So love you all, and I will see you all very, very soon. I'm out.